it's really inspiring to see the focus of industrial connection. And what I heard this morning, especially what Ken talked about, how it impacts students' learning, how it impacts understanding what engineering is about. What I want to share with you a little bit more in depth, some examples of the impact. What we have seen at Kettering is this kind of exposure will result in entrepreneurial mindset, and that can be used as a vehicle to go to entrepreneurial mindset. So I think it's time to change the way that we incorporate only in our curriculum, but also look at ways we can incorporate, particularly the 3 C's, stimulating curiosity and also looking at the connection and creating value, not only in our classes, curriculum classes that we do, labs, but also how we can infuse that into those assignments in the co-op or internship. And it has a strong influence. And if you can do that, it's been done right, then the students would be able to develop entrepreneurial mindset. And having that, you can do a jump start and you can go to entrepreneurship. So that's what I would like to share with you. 3 short stories, 3 journeys of students that I know that went through this, and then they're practicing this right now and enjoying the aspect of getting through this. The first one is Abdra. Abdra comes from Africa, from Eritrea. He talks about the way he grew up, a remote village in Eritrea, that they had no electricity. And he was lucky to finish the high school, and then he came to the United States, and then came to Kettering University. He started co-oping with Emerson Technology as he was doing his education at Kettering. And through the co-op, he had the opportunity to learn about different technology in power systems, in power generations. He mentions that the greatest help for him to form and to shape up his career was working in a company, because he was able to see what are the different parts of the system, what are different alternative energy systems that are available. And also he continues saying that by working in a company, he gained the knowledge to start his social entrepreneurial company. Today, he graduated a few years ago. Today, he's running the company. In fact, right now, he's in Madagascar, in some remote villages, practicing, doing what he loves to do. So he's living his dream. And this has been very transformational for him to go through the education that we provided for him, but also practicing those skills in a real work setting, and then was able to get the knowledge so he would be able to do this. He's the social entrepreneur, and I had the pleasure of having him in my class, so it was fun to have him. The second one is Sean Lang. He was a dual major, electrical, mechanical engineering. He was always fascinated by entrepreneur, like a Steve Jobs. And he made it his goal that he said, I want to be an entrepreneur. That's what I would like to do. So he started working for Electroglass. It's a high-end, high-tech manufacturing of semiconductor devices in California. And through this working experience, he gained a lot of knowledge in different parts of the system design and also the testing. He had also opportunity to work in different groups, such as the communication group, marketing group. He cites that working at Electroglass gave me a jump start. That's what the word he would like to use when he has a press conference. And made him to understand different parts, particularly the areas that you need, such as communication, marketing, budgeting. He gained all this knowledge because of the engagement he had through the co-op experience. He created a company called L2F, and he is recognized recently as one of the top 500 young entrepreneurs. What he does right now is he does high-end, high-tech system integration for food industry, for automation industry, running the business very successfully. Again, it's interesting to see the transformation that he went through and he achieved what he's doing right now. The last example that I have is Amy. Is a recent graduate, a year and a half ago. She started working at IAV right at the beginning when she started her education. IAV is a company that is based in Europe, and she did all kinds of testing, learned about testing, engine testing, transmission testing. As she was getting familiar and getting to know all different subsystems, there was a lot of coding involved. She needed to develop a program to do this testing. And she identified an optimized shortcut method to do some of the testing. So she really practiced entrepreneurial spirit. Just because of the intimate and close experience and connection that she had with all these projects. It gave her that opportunity to be familiar with that. She graduated a year and a half ago, and she was looking for a job. Right now, she's working for GM in the transmission group. I'm looking forward to see her in the future to be an entrepreneur because, it's going to take some time to make that transition. All these examples shows how transformational it has been, not only to have the academic side exposure to the 3 C's, to the entrepreneurial mindset, but also to have a work experience to go along that, to really practice that. I often think about what would be our job or our responsibility as an educator. We would like to empower our students. It was really interesting to talk the keynote speaker today. We want to empower them. It's the same thing that we are trying to do. Empowering them by teaching them how to come up with innovative way of doing the process that they are doing. Empowering them so they can make a difference. Now, the question is, how do we do that? Coming back with education that is well-rounded, not just the academic side, but also a hands-on, a practical side. And that is internship or the co-op experience. It's going to give them that opportunity to actually feel, to see, and identify if there are ways that they can make it better. And that is the spirit of entrepreneurship. And that can be used as a vehicle to go to entrepreneurship. I'd like to cite a particular study that also was just done by Bloomberg. This came out about a month ago. Bloomberg Business News has a lot of interest in business, of course, but one part is education, tying to business. They did a study. A part of that study was they did all kinds of surveys from current students and also students who graduated. The question was this: what do you like to see in your education, even if you finished it or the one that they are doing right now? The students' answer was 2 things. Number one, they liked to see a solid academic background education with the latest data, latest simulation software packages in the curriculum. The second item that they want to see is to have an industrial exposure, not in the university, in some corporate side, so they would be able to practice what they learn. So this just came out, which really reinforced what I have been hearing today, and I would like to encourage you to look at this, the possibility how you can take advantage of some of these co-op opportunities or internship opportunities, not just let them do it, but also work with the co-op or industry sponsors to help them to understand what it means about entrepreneurial mindset and help them to understand it and try to give them an open-ended practical problem on the job. So they would be able to foster that kind of mindset and then they would be able to develop it. I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that we can keep this communication going, and I would be happy to answer any question when it comes up. Thank you.